My name is Tobias Knoke. I'm with Google now for 6 years, and my focus is on working together with developers in Western Europe. For one, helping them to make great games for Google Play, and two, to develop our ecosystem for Google Play. So today I would like to share with you some best practices we have for launching games successfully on Google Play. But before doing so, I will give you just a hint on how big our platform is, in case you didn't know. So we have more than 1 billion active devices worldwide. We have partnerships with 400 OEMs and 500 operators. And also we are adding 1.5 million Android devices daily. So it is quite an extensive reach and might be interesting for you to develop games for. Also, if we just look at EMEA, you can see that in terms of market share, Android is pretty strong. 77% of all smartphones in EMEA are running Android, and this number has increased recently. Also, it's pretty good on the tablet side. 3 out of 5 tablets in EMEA run Android as well. So one more slide with facts and figures, and then we talk about the real thing, but I think we just want to go through this as well. So we also estimate a lot of growth for EMEA. We're always talking about growth in emerging countries, but EMEA has emerging countries as well, such as Russia, such as Turkey. And over the next 5 years, we expect the number of devices to double, and Android will be a very strong growth driver to do so. So now we've talked about having a big audience, but what do you do? What can you do to leverage this audience for making games? So one part of my job and the job of our team is to develop features which are customized for game developers. And this is a list of all the features we have been developing. So no worries, you do not need to read through all of this. This is basically to show you that we have basically doubled the number of features since 2012. So you see 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. We are really trying to invest our time into listening to game developers and to get features off the ground which help you to be more successful on Play. So we have a lot of features here. Let's concentrate on the most important things we do at Google. And I have a little framework for you as well, so we can just go through developing a game. So first, you have the idea. I'm sure there are many people here with great ideas in the audience. That shouldn't be a problem. Then there is a prototyping phase. You sit together, have pizza, beer, whatever you like, and you go for developing 3 prototypes or so. The next step then would be to advance to a soft launch, probably then even launching one of these great projects, one project which didn't fail the Starbucks test or which test you ever want to apply. And then last but not least, you want to optimize the game experience on Google Play or even on other platforms. And for each of these steps, accept the ideas because you're the best guys for doing so. For each of these steps, we have a tool and we have a service you may want to use. And in the next minutes, I will just give you a glimpse of these tools and would give you some more details on how you can use them best. So the first tool, who here in the audience has developed or is developing for Android? Hands up, please. OK, that's pretty good. You're working for Google, but that's OK. And who here in the audience has used alpha or beta testing before? OK, cool. So this is basically just a little tool. We launched it a while ago, but we thought it's very important to have it, so I'm bringing it up here again. This is a tool which helps you to launch the game to a small audience. And there are 2 types of doing an alpha or a beta test. One is to do an open test. You basically have your early APK, and then you have the opportunity to share this link with your community or somewhere on the web. People can then download the game, and you can see through your analytics how this is working out. They cannot leave reviews in the store, by the way. And the other option is to have an open beta testing or open alpha testing. Sorry, it was the closed beta testing, right? So the closed testing is you are sharing your APK with a Google group, a Google Plus community in case you use that social network, or just people with a Google email address. So we have 2 variants of using that alpha and beta testing. And basically, this should give you a good tool to get user interaction with your game, to see data, and to roll it out to a small number of users. And once you've done that, and you've done that successfully, you might want to launch this in a soft launch in a certain market like Taiwan or Canada or New Zealand or whatsoever. And to do this properly, you do not only want to optimize your game, you also want to optimize how your game is appearing in the store, because that makes a big, big difference if people are downloading it or not. So may I ask again, who here in the audience has used store listing experiments before or has heard of it? Yeah, almost equally so. Cool. So store listing experiments is basically the option to test how good your icon is, how good is your header, your description, your key images. And you basically have the chance to have your control group and a test group, and then you can see which icon works best. And do not underestimate how good it is to have a strong icon. It can really, really drive downloads. And I see some people nodding here, which I haven't been paid before, so that's good. So let's do a little quiz. This is an example from Congregate. And Congregate, they had a control group. That was their original icon, and 3 other icons. And they wanted to test which icon is better. And so we're just some minutes before the coffee break, so we can do a little bit of interaction before doing so. Who here thinks that the first lady, the other lady, would resonate better with the audience than the control group? Almost nobody, yeah, 1, 2. Who would say the guy gets more downloads than the lady with a weapon? Okay. Okay. And last but not least, who goes for the helicopter? Okay, so I would say that the guy would won if we here would be the audience. Let's see what Congregate found out by using store listing experiments. Well, it was the helicopter, right? So I think this just proves like the power of those testings. You can also, this is not a Google invention, right? So you do testings all the time if you do marketing, if you do tests. But nevertheless, it is pretty handy to have such a tool to optimize your appearance in the Play Store. And just some best practices on how you use store listing experiments. 1, conduct your testing based on a hypothesis. So in this case, they wanted to find out if they should go for a human character or if they should go for a weapon or a helicopter. Then launch and iterate, test again and again. Maybe you do not find the perfect icon. Maybe you need to test again and again, but that's a good thing. Also, we are showing up a banner in the developer console once you've found the perfect icon. So we help you in stopping the test and doing the next one. And last but not least, be bold. Just try out things because it doesn't hurt. So this is basically how we help you for going soft launch. Let's talk about launch. So we have been working on a feature called pre-registration. This is a very early stage right now. But I have a case study here with me, so I can tell you a bit about what Glue did when launching Terminator end of last year. So this tool basically allows you to get players signed up for your game before it actually has been released. So what Glue did, they had a big marketing campaign 3 weeks before releasing the game. And they directed users to a landing page. And that landing page basically included get it on Google Play now and get a free welcome pack. So what happened when users clicked on that? They were directed to the Play Store, but of course they couldn't download it because it wasn't available yet. But they could click on pre-register. And when they clicked on pre-register, you can see it on the 3rd screenshot, they could also share that with their friends. So probably they got some more people interested in that and pre-registered. And then once the game was launched, all the people who pre-registered for the game got a notification, hey, it's ready, go terminating now. Again, this is a very helpful tool. It's at very early stages. We can talk about it afterwards if you want to. But just an example, what we do in trying to help you getting a lot of users when you launch your game. All right. Let's talk about optimizing your game. We've talked now about launching a game. Let's say you have your game launched already and you want to optimize the performance. Who here has heard of or has ever used Google Play Game Services? Wow, cool. Most hands up here. That's pretty awesome. So Google Play Game Services, then I guess I do not need to tell you too much about it, but basically it's our live service, our turnkey solution, which enables you to have achievements ready, leaderboards ready, and other cool stuff ready. As an example, you can edit quests without touching the APK. And there's one very important thing as well, next to having cool features for your gamers. If you integrate Google Play Game Services, you have access to player analytics. And player analytics is basically our tool for measuring how users perform in the game, to see what about the revenue, what about different cohorts, how do they behave, how do they work. And we really continue to invest in that solution because we believe that working with data can really help to enhance the game performance over time. Let me give you 2 examples how you can use player analytics to boost your game. And I give you the example of Eric Frömmling. Eric is basically a one-man army who developed a game called Bomb Squad. Quite cool game, 3 million downloads, very compelling ratings, even a little community. But he was on his own, so he could not do everything by himself. And we worked together with him to see if player analytics can help. And what our product manager did, he was developing the sources and sync report. With the sources and sync report, Eric was able to dramatically increase his average revenue per daily active user, and I will tell you why. So here on this screenshot, you can see the sources and sync report. And the orange line is basically how many tickets were earned by players. And the blue line says how many tickets were spent by players. And at the very beginning, the people had basically more money than they wanted to give away, which is not very good. I mean, it's great from a player's point of view, but from a developer's point of view, people are not spending enough. So what Eric did then, he was basically optimizing the in-game performance. He didn't make it unfair or so, because you know if you screw up your in-game balancing, then basically people will leave and it's not a good game anymore. But what he did is he optimized the game a bit, and afterwards, basically people were spending more than they were earning, and thus Eric was getting some more in-game currency buys and better IAP performance. So this is basically how you can analyze if your in-game economy is healthy or not. And if you have something like Eric, you can make some changes to earn more revenue. Last but not least, one thing we are rolling out this week, and we are sharing this with a blog post later this week as well, is a tool called predictive analysis. Predictive analysis is basically using the player stats API. And it enables you to find out if there's a probability of your users getting churned or spammed. So if you use this API, Google can tell you how big the probability is of your users if they get churned or if they spam. And if they are just about to churn, you might want to show them some very compelling content or a very customized event. Or if they're about to spend and you know there's a high indication, then you might want to show them some discounted ads or offers. And we basically use signals from Google and Play to help you determine this probability. So something to watch out for as well. So this was basically Google Play in a nutshell, some selection of our key features we have, how we can help you to go from an idea to prototyping, to soft launch, launching your game, and then optimizing your game with Google Play Game Services and player analytics. There's, of course, more stuff we're working on. One example, I guess you've seen it already, is a great thing called video recording, where your players are recording themselves and then uploading that to YouTube. But for now, just thank you for your time. And if you have questions, please let me know.